You there, sir?
Yes, I was unmuted actually. That's why I'm not. I was able to listen to you.
Okay. No
Yes.
issues. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm there. There's still time to come for others to join.
We can talk.
Okay, great.
So, but you didn't send whatever you told you will send.
Yeah, I was actually doing the same thing. I was taking out just 1 or 2 messages which I have wrote to him some time back. So I was just about to share with you.
Yes, sir. So what happened? You didn't share.
No. That's why I'm telling you that I was about to send, but then I suddenly recalled that it's almost time, so I must connect. That's why I connected.
Okay.
That
So,
I
but
was
we spoke like say more than half an hour back, no?
No. But I called you. I called your number. Meanwhile, somebody came. I hold him back, and then I started talking to him. And thereafter, I sat down to take out those messages. I have taken it out, and I was just about to select only a few and send it to you.
Okay. Then let me do the webinar first. Then we can talk. So you go through the webinar at one more time, so
Yes,
that you
yes.
can know now what all I talk.
Yes. I just quietly listen to it. I'll switch off my.
Yes. Okay, sir. You can switch off your video also then.
Yes. I'll switch off the video and audio both.
Yeah. So hello everybody, whoever is in my YouTube streaming. So today I am doing the streaming in YouTube video. So whoever is watching, good evening to all of you, and thank you for watching me here. So although you are not in the Zoom directly, but I'm proud that you are there watching me in the Zoom. So that's a great honor, and you might have been spending your time somewhere else, but you chose to be here. So thank you so much for that. I'm not able to see you although, but anyways. So as I always set the rules, the ground rules are like, say you have to be here for 90 minutes, because if you don't have 90 minutes, then it's better that you go now, because half the information is of no use. You have to listen out to whatever I have to say. I have undergone the same problem, same journey as you are undergoing, might be right now, and we all face the same challenges one time or the other. It never goes away till we learn it completely and master it. The challenges will be there appearing time and again with us. So even though we overcome one challenge in our life, there will be other challenges, because life like say it presumes that we should master all of that, so that we can come out in full glory of our birth. We are here because of a reason, and our uniqueness, we are born unique. But in case of working professionals, they are distracted and they think that life is all about office and workplace. It is not so, and even if it is so, it should be according to your choice. You should be the dictating person of your life, and it is easier said than done. Like say, when I say it's okay, but while I'm speaking today, also I was struggling at office to set records straight. So whenever that happens, I always remember the baseline. The baseline is what I am up to, and if you remember that much, then you are on track. But most of the time we get so distracted with problems, challenges, somebody said something, somebody is behaving in a very bad manner or something, we are onto all that. So how do we find that time to observe so many people in so many ways? Do we get that time for ourselves? So about all this, let me share my screen. We'll be talking today. Our take a notepad so that you can take whatever notes you want to take, because it is not about how much I know and how much you know. I'll be speaking might be the same thing, like say 99% of time. But one thing, because of my experience, that one thing might change your life. That might be something that the universe is trying to tell you through me. Might be. So we never know when we carry the message of the universe for you. It might ring some bell in your ear and your life will completely change. It is not about me. It is the process of the universe which is happening to all of us all the time. So I would like you to take note, and I'll also request you to reserve the questions towards the end so that the flow is not broken. So let me start. I'll take you through very briefly today. And this is about leadership growth that I'm talking about. Leadership is not about that you become a boss or something. Whether you are boss or not, you are in command. That is what I intend to do. Whether you are in a position of leadership or not, but you are a leader. That is what leadership growth is all about. And you become a leader with your mind, not because somebody else has recognized you or given you a position. And this is a smart formula, which will create your clarity. And because you know about yourself, it will bring fulfillment easily and accelerated growth because you will be focused more. And whatever knowledge you have, that knowledge is enough for you without any additional academics or another degree or anything, or a godfather at workplace. That is enough for you to take you through. So who this is for? So this is for people who are feeling stuck and feeling unfulfilled. Why stuck? Because they have a complaint, they have anger, or they have some kind of grief. Somehow they are feeling hurt, right? So that is why they are stuck, because their mind is focused on the problem, not on the solution. If you look at the solution, only solution will be visible. If your mind is like say too much, too bitter about something negative that has happened, you call that as a negative, but do you know how to interpret that as a positive happening? Maybe that is something we need to learn, and it is not very difficult. It just takes a tweak in the mind, the thought process, to get that. And because you are stuck, that is why you are feeling unfulfilled. And what is there for you? So there are 10 things, 10, 11 things that I have outlined, which might, any one or all of them might appeal to you. You become a winning leader. Because how many stories do you know? Anybody who is 5 years old has a lot of story to tell. Now you are, I suppose you are about say 30 to 40 age range or more. So 8 times more stories you have. But do you know your stories? You have lot many achievements. You also had failures, I agree, but you had also achievements which you don't know, you don't recall, because you don't pay attention to your achievements, right? You never thought about your achievements. How do you grow? How do you progress forward? By remembering whatever achievements you had, because that will show you a way forward, right? From the failures you don't get anything. So this is what we will do that exercise. The second is in the team 3 days with a victory formula woven in my system. So as I said, it takes just a mindset tweak. So how much time it should take? It just take 1 second. But to reach that tweak, you will have to follow a discipline, and that will take 3 days max. In some cases, people will take more, but I have seen people taking just 3 seconds. So I am giving you 3 days, right? You can become somebody which will give you a victory formula for you, because you are meant to win. And the leader with an eye for talent, it is not you only. If you have a very big vision, then it is never you only who is going to achieve that alone. You have to have a team. And unless you can see the talent in others, you are not going to have a team. If you don't have a team, you are not going to achieve your own vision. So that is why you become a leader with an eye for talent in 21 days. Definitely it requires some more discipline, right? And then you will develop a leader with a distinctive style of your own, because as human beings, we have something good, something bad. So we are a combination of bad, good. Now, somebody has some strength in something, might be your strengths are very different than mine, but both of us can be positive people, both of us can be leaders. Now you have to be your own kind of leader. So how, what is your personality, how to find out what kind of leader you are, that is what you can become here with following this formula. Then highly productive, that is what the essential of all this program is, because the moment you become highly productive, all other things fall in place. You have multiple system of income, because you are right now monetizing one skill, because you are in a profession where you are monetizing one skill, you are selling one skill. So how can you do something extra to create multiple streams of income? Manifester, like say we create a tracker, many people create like their projection, like income projection and expenses projection, and as a result of that, how their capital is being built. So you can see that. Once you see that in Excel sheet, you can achieve it. And it does this trick with everybody I have seen. Even in a good luck, if you are putting say one rupee coin, even your saving in habits will change. Your entire cash flow in the family will change with that little thing. So this is a tracker we are going to build. Then you become a tranquil leader who is peaceful even in entire halla gulla. A lot of noise, but you will be peaceful. That is what you will become. And you will have a 4 days work week. Even if you are having a 6 days work week, it doesn't matter. It can be made into a 4 days work week. In any case, your 8 hours of work every day is essentially 4 hours of work. You stretch that into 8 hours and beyond. Do you realize? Do you agree? And that is a reality with most of the people. And you become an insightful leader, because now you will learn how to have winning stories, because now everything, every event that is happening in your life will be a positive story. It will be a win for you, because we are meant to be winning. Then become a global crusader. How do you become a leader? You know, the moment you decide that you are a leader, you become a leader. How do you do that? Like say, the moment you think that you won't waste anything, you won't waste water, then you save water. The moment you save water, start saving water, that is how you contribute towards a global vision. You are saving water, everybody is saving water, and every sensible person is saving water, and that is a global vision. So you become a global leader. Have you ever thought about this? It is so easy to become a global leader and you start seeing yourself a global leader, then you become like that. So the first secret is to see yourself as the dream person that you think that you should, right? And then already you are a person of potential. Might be you are a trendsetter and breakthrough professional, but you don't know. You don't know because you haven't ever realized your potential and your proficiency. So who all would like to be a person of potential? Now let me tell you some industry data. What happens if if you are complaining? Industry data says the moment you are a complaining person, it is very likely that you are looking for another opportunity, which means you will invest your energy in looking for another job. If that is so, then you are operating at 20% of productivity. So for freshers, the alternative solution comes in 3 to 6 months. The more senior you are, it takes 3 to 5 years to find a suitable alternative. If that is so, for 3 to 5 years, you are operating at 20% productivity level. What does that mean? You are establishing a habit to work at 1/5 of your potential. What happens to your potential? Do you see, by having a complaint, by having anger, by becoming stuck, you are killing yourself only, your potential only, nobody else, right? So this is industry data. And when I did some market research as to why people are like that, why they complain, because I used to be complaining a lot, and what I missed and why I was complaining. So I tried to figure out what is happening in other people's lives. I had some problem, I would say. Some other person will say there were problems, this problem, that problem, and that problem. And I found out, if you see the table, the left side is workplace related issues, but the right side is not workplace related issues. These are personal issues. So who is responsible? The workplace is not responsible for your personal issues, right? Right? Maybe it is interlinked. Something happened at workplace which has created these personal issues. This is quite possible. But what I have found out is at least 70% it is not so. Because you had earlier some personal issues, that is why workplace issue has come up, right? So it is a bitter truth for people who are stuck and who are potential people. I say it again. If you are not potential, you will not have anger. You will not have this gussa or anything. Because you are a potential person, that is why you have anger. But if you continue with your anger, you are losing your productivity, right? And only you are responsible for that. All those problems that I listed out there, these are broadly classified into 10 categories, which you can see if you are able to see. Now these categories, out of these categories, your problem at the moment might be one of this. So let us start with this, and you will soon find out that 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 small tiny problem that you were saying that you have will have root towards all other aspects of these categories that I have outlined. So that is why it requires a discipline to get over that problem, that it doesn't happen again. Next time the same problem will appear in another form, and you will not know unless you go through this discipline, right? So how to deal with this? I propose the SMART formula is called resourceful influencing. This is how I had overcome the complaining nature that I had. So as to save you from that wastage of time that I had once in my life. Because of that, I learned, and I was lucky enough to have overcome all those, right? So unless guided, you are not going to find that solution. You will not have it on your own. If you confide about your problems with somebody, that person will have some kind of vested interest. So you have to find a guide who will tell you the truth, who will not have any vested interest in your growth, who will celebrate your growth, right? So how it all started for me, I used to be a star performer, but not the boss. That is why I complained a lot, but I loved my work. And I could handle a variety of tasks in emergency, but I was never trained in all those. If in an emergency, you give me a task, a problem, I'll solve that. So that was my superpower, right? You must have, everybody has that kind of capability in some degree or other. And then I attended a HR workshop meant for HR professionals, but I was not an HR professional. I am a postgraduate in mathematics and I was doing social research before that. So no connection to HR. But what happened in this HR workshop, there were very senior people from bigger organization. And at that moment, I was from a small organization. That is why I was senior. So that is why I was sent to that HR workshop. So there was a requirement to uh, display and analyze the HR policy of the respective organizations that we came from. My organization didn't have any HR policy. So what did I do there? I took some time and I designed an HR policy and I presented. So that was a breakthrough moment. No HR background beforehand, but I could design one which was appreciated by the very senior people, HR people from different organizations. So that was the first experience of resourcefulness for me. You must have some kind of experience like that, where you were never expected to perform, but you did. So after that, I went to Rajasthan. Actually, after that, after 2 years, I applied into the bigger organization and I was selected because those senior people from that organization attended that HR workshop and they had selected me there. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been selected, recruited by this company if I would have applied like that alone. So that was a great experience. And then this company was having a new project in Rajasthan. They had to enumerate 44 lakh women in 2 months' time. And as part of that team, I trained 12,000 people out there, 12,000 volunteers who were sourced from different organizations from all over India, and they were trained. They were spread into 65 camps every day in 29 districts, and each camp had 10 people. Their logistics, their everything was to be arranged, and that was done in 2 months' time. I couldn't have done, nobody could have done that all by themselves. It required a team and it was done. The second was in Meghalaya, where I had to set up 239 common services center under the National E-Governance Program. So it was done. Connectivity was the issue. I figured out a solution. Third is Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. There was a crisis in 2010 out there. I tracked that with the help of softwares, and I became a data scientist. I was never one, right? So if you can see, I have given, like say, played different roles and came out with different kind of solutions, all very different from whatever my previous background and experience was. Then in 2011, I was sent to Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh, where people had just 3 months of food. For the rest of the time, they had to depend on the forest, and it was a tiger reserve. They were getting to the core and were getting killed. So the forest department wanted us, my company, to find out an alternative solution. I stayed there in the forest for 4 years and we found out a solution. I'll talk about that a little later. Then here I noticed that I was not looking to be the boss anymore. After all this experience, I was looking for challenging tasks. I was looking to support my company get to the solution. So I was not trying to be the boss. I was not looking after designation. So when you are like that, when you become like that, when you have a mindset like that, you become a resource to your own company. So, and you start influencing everybody around. That is how this term I coined as resourceful influencing. So ultimately it is the task you love rather than the designation. And why people say that they are stuck? They talk about reward, expertise, salary raise, promotion, opportunity, recognition, incentive, but they don't talk about leadership growth because they don't know. All they know is getting promoted to a senior position and to be the boss. That is all they know. Do they know about leadership growth? How to be a leader at each position? If you read Stephen Covey, you will know what a leader should be, right? A leader is never a manager. That is what he says. And it takes many understanding by yourself to know and discover more about yourself. Because if you are boss here, you may not be the boss somewhere else, but you will always be a leader here, there, everywhere. If you have invested in yourself to be a leader. So ask yourself 3 questions whenever you are stuck. How do you see yourself? That is how you perceive yourself as. The second is how people perceive you to be, and how you want to be remembered. If you ask these 3 questions, then you will see that somewhere in these 3 questions, your answer lies. And then let me talk a little bit about resourceful influencing. And what is resourcefulness? Is utilizing the existing resources optimally. What resources you have to identify? What is there? When I went to Bandhavgarh, there were no HR for me. I had to work alone with those illiterate people. And I trained them as my HR, those illiterate people. So people were there, they were not trained. So this problem was having trained HR. They may not be there, but you can make them your HR for your purpose. What is the process and who you need to become? So if you have gone to do some work and all you need to do is train these illiterate people, that becomes additional task. That is not your core task, but you become somebody else. How do you train them? So it was a story how I made all the ladies to sign their name. That was again another task. But I did a little trick. No, they put Alpana at their houses at festival time. So I created those designs around their names to put as Alpana. So that is how I trained them to sign their name. And so I had to become somebody else. I wanted to know who they are. So that is how I became somebody else. I came to their level so that they can relate to me and they can surrender to me whatever I was saying. So you have to become somebody else, right? And why this choice? Why I choose to do this? That why you need to find out. And influencing, everybody knows it is not about you, it is about others. So what challenges are there while reaching out to that person? What process you will reach out, who you team up with, and why that is necessary? All these questions you need to ask in resourceful influencing. That makes your task easier and your task cut out for yourself. And the resourcefulness influencing has a chain reaction. It never stops once you start with it. It wins you recognition and growth. It creates resilience. It overcomes struggles and challenges. It unravels relevance. You become relevant to every situation, and it propels towards reaching beyond without feeling burnt out. That is how you create legacy, and you will be known for that, right? So this might look like a very big task, but it starts very small. And the influence path is very straight, simple, bottom up. First, you need to know what is the uniqueness you are born with. So if you are unique, the other person in front is also born unique. So you have to accept the uniqueness in others also. That means when you accept another person, you win admiration from them. And that is how your team building starts. And once you build a team, you can achieve lot many difficult tasks, and that establishes your credibility. And once you establish your credibility, you stand out as an employee or working professional or as a human being, and then growth becomes obvious. So the three secrets are this: how to manage self, how to manage people, and how to manage time. That's all, right? So my values are dignity, freedom, and transformation. Why dignity? Because when you are working, the other day I was talking to another student of mine, and he was saying, because he didn't take my course, what he did was he spoke to somebody. He had a problem in taking the support of his colleague. So what he did was somebody advised him to share food with that colleague, you know. So I asked him, do you have any personal dignity? So most people don't understand. First, you have to love yourself. First, you have to respect yourself. Self-respect is the most basic thing. Can you win without any self-respect? So that is why I put dignity as the first value of mine. So you have to have, no matter what success you get, unless you have this dignity, personal dignity, you are not going to enjoy that. And the second thing is freedom. Freedom is like, I mean, time freedom. So that requires a lot, many things. So that is my second value. Whatever I do, I ensure that I utilize the time well and also create time for me. And transformation is like, say, whatever I am today, I have to be a better person tomorrow. So it is the caterpillar turning to a butterfly story. So who you should be, each of us. For me, I should be unrecognizable by tomorrow. If somebody has seen me today, I should be somebody else tomorrow. That is the transformation. So that should be the speed of growth, right? So those are my values. This might not be happening at that speed, but again, unless that happens, the journey is not happening, right? And there are 10 steps, 10 aspects of that journey that I have identified. Is first is how you respond to your situation. Have you identified your strength, USP? And then these are the 5 things of resilience. The second aspect, that how to manage people. No, these are the 5 things. If you take care, then all other things are taken care of. Like, say, you have to establish positive relationships with people around, senior, junior, and peers. How to handle change, how to manage challenges, and how to build team. After you uh, manage to build relationships, then you have to also think win-win for others. It is not about your own self and your own progress only. It is about their progress also. So that is what I call as emotional intelligence. You have to have several things, traits developed within you to have this. And dealing with ambiguity. Your boss says something, your boss's boss says something. How to navigate that? And then for all this to happen, it is you only have to be very powerful within. So that is why I say you need to practice mindfulness, and that will happen if you create daily wins and you monetize a skill. So these are the 10 things that I'll be teaching. So here I'm going to outline how we can do that. The first thing is identifying one's strength. So here are the some of the tests that I tell you. It takes about 2 to 3 hours to do all these tests. You will find out your own characteristics. So those will be like, say, 18 kinds of leadership style you will have. So some of them I have outlined. It is like, say, 5 to 6 traits that you have within. So that is enough to outline yourself what kind of style you have. Once you do that, then your attitude, right? What kind of attitude do you have? Attitude defines personality, habits, right? These are the 4 things that I have outlined, because suppose you are qualified, experienced, and everything, and another person also is the same like you. But what will differentiate you from that person is your attitude, habit, action, and perception. Perception, I say, all other things you can uh, understand, but perception is something. It is raising your bar, raising yourself up. If you are at the ground level, you will see as much as what others see. But if you go to the third floor, you will see much more. If you go to the fifth floor, you will see even more. If you go to the 10th floor, you will not see any unnecessary details. And that is what I mean. We see lot of unnecessary details around us. That is not necessary. That is how we can filter our time. That is where our time goes, and that is how you build leadership rating. And characteristic of a resourceful mindset is they are basically givers. पहले तो देते ही. They can find out existing opportunity, ongoing difficulties, strength and weaknesses, and follow a proven discipline. They know their own strength and weaknesses. They know the other person's strength and weaknesses, and build a framework wherein their strength and the other person's strength will get leveraged, and build some success formula, right? And they don't waste time in reinventing the wheel. Whatever has been proven under those circumstances, they follow that. They take a mentor. Action points in daily wins are whatever happens today. Suppose it is a bad incident. Observe that, pause for a moment, reflect why that has happened, rectify the next time the same thing happens, and tweak a bit, find another solution. The same problem in another form, the same solution with a little bit of tweak. It becomes a win. The moment you engineer it, it becomes a win because it becomes a success formula. And that is how you will create a daily win. If you have daily wins, you cannot become stuck. My backstory is I have so far trained 18,000 professionals and 1 crore lives I have impacted. And whoever I have trained, they're doing great all by themselves. And even in illiterate ladies, I have found 2 skills. And why I do this? I want to create positivity, creativity, and want people to be more so that I can celebrate. If I am a great leader, how can I enjoy that leadership? My uniqueness. If I can share it with somebody, who I can share it with? A person who understands me. How can a person understand me? That person who is at the same level as me. So I want to create that atmosphere, that environment where people become more. And my values are titled, which I call as tranquility, inclusion, dignity, abundance, learning, and joyfulness. These are few of the accolades that I have won. And my mission is to impact 1 billion lives with 1 lakh super performing global players in 139 countries with multi-billion-dollar enterprise. So here I teach everybody to have such a big vision. Unless you have a big challenging vision, unless people will laugh at you, at your vision, it is not big enough a vision. If it is not that, you are not going to be challenged and you will not be motivated, and you will always see the problem side of everything. No solution. इतना बड़ा मिशन हो जाएगा तो then you will start seeing कि कैसे होगा, right? You will look at solution and possibilities. And my system is resourceful influencers club. इसको रिकॉर्ड किया कि नहीं? Let me see. रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है ना? हाँ हो रहा है. Yes. And the blueprint is these 4. Identify your difference, establish resilience, influence, and become prominent. And then the 5th stage is again you have to play the entire game again, because you are reaching to a level where other people have already reached to that level, and you are in competition with them. So the story again starts. It is a never ending game. You can never achieve your best unless you keep on going there, right? And the second is response pattern. Here I give 5-stage thing. I call that as strategic positioning. For example, I give you interview kind of situation where you have to tell about yourself without being bombastic. That is what I call a subtle assertion. The second is you have to have strong conviction, because people will cross question you. Unless you have that conviction, whatever you are describing will fall off. The third is suitable obsession. So if usse bhi nahi mana, then you have to show कि आप obsessive थे, that is why you have achieved. Maybe you have achieved something which is not usual, every day नहीं है, so that people will start questioning, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है, ये by fluke हो गया होगा. Then you have to show कि yes, वो हुआ होगा, but that was because of my dedication to this cause. ये आपको बोलना पड़ेगा without झगड़ाing with that person. Fourth is, now once you are done with whatever you have done about yourself, now you start influencing the other person, your interviewer, कि आप मुझे अगर recruit करोगे, then this will be your win also, right? And fifth is synergizing conversation. Last में क्या होता है, you will say कि if I am recruited, both of us can take the company organization to that level. What does this mean? आप एक मिशन पे, अपने मिशन पे किसी और को ले आए. So this has to be the 5 response pattern that you need to follow. Third is mentoring. Mentoring, why? This is the example of somebody I had recruited and I had mentored her. She was just an executive when she was recruited, but she is the HR manager right now. She is in the helm of everything happening in that, where I used to be HR head, right? So me becoming an HR head, that was another story, but you know, whatever I had learned, I taught her, and thereby I saved my time. Here our crux is, our entire focus is about saving time, utilizing our time in productive work. As a leader, 80% of our time should go in planning and strategy. So क्या होगा, routine work कौन करेगा फिर? So that is where your second and third rank, you have to mentor so that they are able to take care of many situations which are routine. So you have to come in where specialization is required. That is why mentoring. So these are few of my colleagues who have told me something. And then managing challenges. I told you about Meghalaya, where what I did was I set up 239 common service centers in 7 districts. Given the terrain of Meghalaya, data broadband was not working. So I found out the solution of data card and VSAT. ऐसा नहीं है कि मैंने डेटा कार्ड इन्वेंट किया और VSAT भी इन्वेंट किया. It was not like that. I was searching for a solution. I found that. And I went to the telephone department and बोला कि आप ये कर दो. तो उनके जो सबसे highest authority थे, they were saying, how come this solution has occurred to you? So it was something like say खाली पीली बैठे बैठे जो recognition मिलता है ना, it was like that. If you are solution focused, you will find out some solution which is there already, but undiscovered. People उसको लेते नहीं, thinking कि पता नहीं क्या होता है. But if they are solution focused, आप बोलते रहोगे, आप ढूंढते रहोगे. So what I did was, this was a challenge, right? But or I convinced my company to give 125 data cards to some of the centers, 125 centers and 5 VSATs. VSAT was costly that time. So I had to do a lot of convincing to my company. And seeing the success of those VSATs, Meghalaya government donated 42 VSATs. You know, that was a win. So I did only the Dhunda solution. That is what I did. But the entire mission, if Meghalaya has a successful national e-governance plan, I did my contribution there. That is what we all are meant to do. वही तो होता है प्रोफेशनलिज्म, क्या होता है? और the second thing is बांधवगढ़ में, say I had to stay in the forest. I shouldn't say I had to stay. वो तो मैंने चूज किया था. That was my choice. And how do you handle change? So when I was HR head, I was given a challenge कि 2 साल से एक डेड वाटर सेट झारखंड में पड़ा है. Can you revive that? So I went and revived from HR head. वो सेकेंड रैंक मेंटरिंग अगर नहीं किए होते तो वहीं पे बैठे रहते ना. HR इज ए वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. एंड अगर अटैचमेंट ही होता मुझे कि HR हेड बनना ही है, देन आई वुडंट हैव डन दिस सोल्यूशन. तो मैं अपने लाइफ के साथ जस्टिस तो नहीं कर पाती. डोंट यू थिंक दैट? सो I revived that within 6 months. So that was a success again. So मेरा आइडेंटिटी क्या था? So I have established an identity जो मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप सभी लोग करो. आपके लाइफ में भी वही सारे अपॉर्चुनिटीज होंगे ये करने के लिए. बिकॉज आप तो एक स्टोरी में बॉर्न हुए ना. आप कितना एक्सप्लॉइट करते हैं उस स्टोरी को, दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन यू ओनली. सो इन माई लाइफ आई एम नोन एज ए पर्सन विथ सोल्यूशन. That is the identity I wanted. So I call myself as successful. And I am not stuck. I cannot be. Because मेरा फोकस तो वहीं पे है ना. So हमेशा सोल्यूशन ढूंढने का, करते रहने का. Nobody knows कि कहाँ पे फेल्योर है. How can I know where my failure is? ये तो जर्नी है, right? Sixth is the emotional intelligence. Now I talk about बांधवगढ़. Here ये इलिटरेट लेडीज थे, पढ़े लिखे नहीं थे, घर से कभी निकले नहीं थे. दे वर गोइंग टू द फॉरेस्ट ओनली. एंड इन द स्पेस ऑफ 4 years दे वन 17 अवार्ड्स नेशनल. कहां से जीता? CII से जीता, कॉन्फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडियन इंडस्ट्रीज. ब्रोक मस्टर्ड प्रोडक्शन रिकॉर्ड ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश. had a federation wherein they had 36 lakhs of corpus in 4 years of time. 3 महीने का उनके पास खाना होता था. From 3 months of food, they went on to become farmers with grains who sold. Excess जो होता था वो sold. From food scarce to food sufficient. Ladies became leaders. Why I say so? Because they became members of the district governing board under the collector. Unpad ladies, but still they decided their own fate in 4 years of time, and I take the credit of pushing them to discover their talents. किसी के साथ भी आप कर सकते हैं if you want a solution. And the then chief minister Mr. नरेंद्र मोदी, एक फार्मर कन्वेंशन हुआ था जिसमें ये फार्मर गए थे, उनको 50,000 कैश अवार्ड दिया था. 50,000 तो फार्मर ही थे वहां. So out of that these farmers were selected. कुछ तो होगा इनमें, right? And why she won CII award? क्योंकि उसने बोला था कि पूंजी is the कुंजी. What does that mean? उनको समझ में आ गया था, because from their life only they learn ना. उनको खाली शब्द नहीं मिलते ठीक से बताने के लिए. That शब्द I gave. So she was saying कि छोटा सा कैपिटल अगर हमारे पास बन जाए, then we can escape the vicious cycle of poverty. What a profound wisdom. Because of that she won. And she had this wisdom. In addition to whatever training that I gave, she had implemented all those and found out this inside herself. And she talked non-stop when she won this award. तो सबको पता चल गया कि वो कुछ रटा रटाया बोला नहीं थे, मैंने कुछ रटा दिया ऐसा नहीं था. She spoke her story. And the then industry minister Mr. Anand Sharma felicitated her. Another farmer won Best Farmer Award from the MS Swaminathan Research Foundation. Another lady won from the Andhra Pradesh governor. ठीक है? Now managing ambiguity. मेघालय का ही लेते हैं. Like say when for the first 1.5 years, my boss was like say मेरे साथ पता नहीं उनको क्या खुन्नस थी. they he was not allowing me to find the solution ना, solution find करके you do something, ये मुझे रास्ता ही नहीं छोड़ा. So what I did after 1.5 years, when government started implementing the penalty clause, उससे वो ही चले जाते जेल. So I had to go and find the solution. So this is how I dealt with ambiguity. वो क्या बोल रहे थे और क्यों बोल रहे थे, उसमें क्यों घुसना. You have to focus your thing, your eyes on the solution. वही किया मैंने. That is how I managed ambiguity. Practicing mindfulness, मैंने कुछ बोला है तो अभी जितना सारा मेरे एक्सपीरियंस हो गया, आपने देखा कि एक पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट इन मैथमेटिक्स, वो पता नहीं कभी कुछ कर रही है. एंड एवरी टाइम आई वाज गेनिंग सम एक्सपीरियंस, राइट. सो फॉर द फर्स्ट 6 years आपको ऐसे डाइवर्स होना पड़ेगा, एंड देन यू हैव टू स्टार्ट गेटिंग. पहले तो ब्रेड्स आप गेन कीजिए, देन यू हैव टू एस्टेब्लिश योर डेप्थ. उसको ये सारे को इंटीग्रेट करके कौन सा आप टैगलाइन खुद को दे सकते हैं वो दीजिए, एंड दैट बिकम्स योर मिशन. सो दैट इज व्हाट आई कॉल एज रीचिंग बियॉन्ड. यू स्टार्ट योर जर्नी लाइक दैट. डेप्थ में जर्नी है. एंड आई हैव गिवन माई सेल्फ ए स्लोगन टू वर्क ऑन, to have solar efficient, disaster resilient, sustainable, affordable housing to economically weaker section of the society. अभी तक मेरे जितने भी आपने देखा उसमें कोई affordable housing नहीं था. But at Delhi, when I came to Delhi, I realized that यहाँ बड़े बड़े डिपार्टमेंट हेड और गवर्नमेंट के सारे बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं. They only understand their part. वो दूसरे का व्यू पॉइंट उनको पता ही नहीं होता है. Although the other person also is from government department and all of them are part of government department, all of them are contributing to the development of this country, फिर भी synergy नहीं होने से कैसे होगा. and synergy, how does synergy come, वो इतना उनको ये समझ नहीं है कि if you start understanding the other person's work, ऐसे करने से synergy बढ़ जाती है. so I started doing this. housing for all इतना बड़ा है, कितने घर बने, एंड जितने जो लोग इसके लिए रेस्पॉन्सिबल हैं, क्या वो अपना काम कर पाए. सो हाउ कम आई एम थिंकिंग कि आई विल डू दैट, बिकॉज आई एम दैट पर्सन हु इज ब्रिंगिंग ऑल द स्टेक होल्डर्स. ये बड़े बड़े लोगों को साथ में लेके आके समझा रहे हैं, और इट इज ए बिग टास्क. जिस दिन ये खत्म हो जाएगा, ये बाउंड्री ऑफ बीइंग इन देयर ओन बाउंड्रीज, अपने लिमिटेशन में, they will see reason कि जो गरीब, किसी को देखा है बिना छत के वो करोड़पति बन गया. सो हाउसिंग इज एन इनकम एनेबलर. इस देश को अगर डेवलपमेंट के थ्रू तक ले जाना है, देन यू हैव टू गिव देम ए छत, ए रूफ. और इनके सारे जमा पूंजी कहाँ जाता है? दैट गोज इन रिपेयरिंग देयर हाउसेस. अगर 30-40,000 पर ईयर ये खर्च करते हैं, क्योंकि 85% ऑफ हाउसेस इन दिस कंट्री आर कच्चा हाउसेस को रिपेयरिंग की जरूरत पड़ती है, पक्का को जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. सो दिस इज वन टाइम इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑफ दिस थिंग. इतना नहीं समझ आए तो ये कोई रॉकेट साइंस तो मैं बोल ही नहीं रही, कॉमन सेंस की बात बोल रही हूँ ना. एक बार एक पक्का घर बन जाए तो अगले 15-20 या उससे भी ज्यादा के लिए इनका जो इन्वेस्टमेंट होता है घर पे, वो सेव हो जाएगा. इफ दैट गेट्स सेव्ड, देन इनके पास वो पूंजी बनेगी जो देवदी बाई ने बोला था बांधवगढ़. वो पूंजी बनेगी तो दे कैन एस्केप द विशियस साइकिल ऑफ पॉवर्टी. बिकॉज एक इमरजेंसी होता है, पुअर थोड़ा सा ऊपर स्टेटस में गया रहता है, एंड दे कम बैक टू अगेन टू दैट पॉवर्टी, बिकॉज सारा जमा पूंजी उनका खर्च हो जाता है. कोई नहीं होता उनको सपोर्ट करने के लिए, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट बैंकेबल. बैंक नहीं आता, कोई नहीं आता, राइट. वेलफेयर स्कीम उनको लेना पड़ता है. वेलफेयर स्कीम क्यों? भिखारी है क्या कोई? डिग्निटी की बात यहाँ पे फिर से आ जाती है, राइट. सो इफ आई हैव दैट वैल्यू, आई वांट दैट वैल्यू फॉर ईच ऑफ अस, ईच ऑफ माय फेलो सिटीजन. एंड हाउ डज इट हैपन? फैसिलिटेट things to happen. कहीं पे कुछ पॉजिटिव हो रहा है, anything happening anywhere, allow that to happen. हम उसको बंद करने के चक्कर में रहते हैं क्योंकि somebody else is doing. allow that to happen. Innovate जहां पे भी आप हैं, what innovation you can bring, and I'm dead sure that everybody can bring some or other kind of innovation. Synergize with that person who कोई अच्छा कर रहा है तो. Then focus on your vision. वो that person's vision and your vision might be appearing different, but ultimately both are going in the same direction only. And the font size मैंने different रखा है क्योंकि इतने ही proportion में आप इनको करेंगे. Like say the importance of each point is established by the size of the font. सबसे बड़ा है start small. यही नहीं करता कोई. ताजमहल पहले ही दिन ताजमहल नहीं था. So पहले ही दिन it was a पत्थर only, a foundation only. So you start from there, build on that, go on like that. और बाकी सारे काम भी करते रहेंगे तो ultimately your work will be a ताजमहल. And integration कीजिए दूसरे का के साथ भी, and then prior experience and existing plus point जो हैं, so बन तो रहे हैं ना, it is getting built up. उनका भी आपका भी, वो सारे को इंटीग्रेट कीजिए. That is how at बांधवगढ़ in just 4 years जो भूखमरी थी उसको हटा दिया. एक बंदी ने हटा दिया. इतने सारे लोग हैं, पूरे दुनिया की भूखमरी नहीं मिटा सकते. If only they see what I see. लोग खाली बोलते रहते हैं कि 70 years हो गए हमारे आजादी को, नहीं गई भूखमरी. मैंने तो मिटा दिया एक जगह. So how was that? कोई कहीं से गिरी थी क्या? Nothing like that. Only these principles. Daily wins मैंने बता दिया. और अभी क्या कर रहे हैं? Like say it is my dream is this net zero living, जिसमें solar efficiency भी मैंने बोला था. So talking about that, अभी solar अभी Nobel laureate जो है प्रोफेसर मोहम्मद यूनुस, उनके साथ भी काम हो रहा है. And then learning a new skill. So I want 20 बांधवगढ़ at least in my lifetime to happen in India. 20 जगह पे करना है, एक करके बंद क्यों हो गए? So can I do that all by myself again? So that is why I am doing this digital thing. This is my mentor who told me कि आप ये कर सकती हो, you can do this by digital means. सभी कोई टेक्नोलॉजी को आजकल अडॉप्ट कर रहा है for faster development and growth. And this is his senior, and my digital journey has started, and this is the first stage. I qualified, so he is taking my interview. And this is another master from Singapore from whom I am learning. And these are the 12 seniors from whom I am learning right now. And this is their senior again, who is the coach of Robert Kiyosaki, from whom they are learning. And in this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I am going to learn from him also. So इंडिया कभी, भारत कभी गुरुकुल परंपरा के साथ था. हम यहाँ सारे कोई पूरी दुनिया से लोग यहाँ पढ़ने आते थे. नालंदा उसका एक एग्जाम्पल है. कहाँ गया वो? भारत का वो जो रिचुअल, वो जो ट्रेडिशन था, वो कहाँ गया? We are going to revive that. We learn and we teach, and then we teach everybody, right? So that is what we are going to be the training capital of India. That is the vision right now. This is Vijay Mahajan. उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि कहीं पे भी तुमको रख दो, you are going to find a solution. जिस दिन उन्होंने मुझे बोला था, ये मुझे 1.5 साल पहले बोला था, I felt like I have won Nobel Prize. मेरे लिए तो उससे कम नहीं था. वैसे भी उन्होंने मुझे 4 साल चेयरमैन अवार्ड दिया था, 2012, 13, 14, 15. So I think this was another award. So here is the curriculum, जो बहुत सारे है. एक तो कॉन्सेप्ट है, आप पढ़ते हैं, पहले तो समझिए कि भाई what I am talking about, आपको क्या बनना है उसमें, and then it goes on. और प्रैक्टिस बुक्स उसमें है. पहले कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़िए, उसके बाद प्रैक्टिस कीजिए, एंड थर्ड लेवल में if we can go 1-to-1. So that is all whoever has any question, whoever are watching me from the YouTube thing, they can also post their questions there so that I can take up them after some time, after when I see this, right? See your questions and I can answer you through mail. Thank you for watching. Thank you. हाँ जी सर, खत्म हो गया.